Hello, everybody. It's Michelle here with Angel Souls. We're going to be going through an angelic message here. Hopefully, this will help you make more sense of what's going on with yourself, in your life, in the world, and definitely give you some comfort, hopefully, and also help you to just have a deeper understanding of how to move forward. So we cannot start this message for this week. These are timeless. That's why I've kind of been a little bit loose about when I post. I do post once a week, no matter what. Always have. So you can always count on that. But during the time of this recording, there are fires yet again in Los Angeles, which these are extra bad. I mean, they've been bad, but like it's getting crazy. There is a second winter storm that's supposed to hit the southern part of the United States, which is not used to getting such storms. And oh gosh, what else is happening? Like so many things that I probably can't say here in the video because it would be taken down. So there is definitely, when we're talking about spirituality and purely coming from a spirituality standpoint, okay, a lot of distortion, a lot of vibrational distortion. And that can set a lot of you on edge, especially if you're sensitive, especially if you have been on a spiritual path for a very long time, then this isn't news to you. You knew this was coming. We all knew this was coming. Earthquakes are next. And I've been saying that for years, and they've been happening over the years. But it's going to get a lot crazier before it gets calmer. But if your response to that is more bad news, you're not ready. You're not ready. People who have been listening, tuning in, doing the spiritual work so that they're open enough, their intuition is heightened enough. And I'm not talking about this ego thing of, yes, I'm a psychic and I know everything. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking you're very in tune with pulsations of this earth, the beings within it, and how those energies fluctuate and how they mingle with one another and also be in distortion like we're seeing now. We're seeing people short-circuiting. We are seeing people trying to cause fear in others. We are seeing flat-out darkness rising up. We knew this was going to happen. I was just watching another content creator, and that person said, you know, if you have been open and been paying attention, you're not surprised by any of it. And let that be a gauge of where you're at. We had the drones going, shoot. How many of you just went, okay. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. So as you're listening to this video, this isn't about like, superiority. Don't let anybody ever do that to you. But it is a good gauge of what other kind of spiritual self-care do you need to do right now. And as I say that, I feel like I have to over-explain everything because I've seen how it gets taken. I'm not encouraging people to be egocentric and say, you know what, it kills my vibe to see that, so I'm just not going to look at it. Or that's not what we're talking about. That's a different kind. I don't know what their problem is, but we're not doing that. That's not that. But when something is rattling you and taking your life force away, if you're aligned, you know exactly what to do. You know to send good energy. And forgive me as I say it this way, so pay attention to how I'm saying this. Sending good energy to the innocent people that are swept up in this. Does that mean we don't send love to somebody we see as an enemy? That gets into a deeper conversation, okay? So what I'm talking about is not somebody you just don't like because you don't like their viewpoints or you don't like their politics. I'm talking about there are some beings that are intentionally allowing darkness to work through them and they don't want the light. So we're not going to throw light in that direction, okay? There's also, and if you've watched me for any amount of time, you know that the angels and archangels do not go against God's law. And one of those laws is that you do not interfere with human free will. So when we offer up to souls that are getting caught up in darkness that's going on around them, and we send light to them, their soul is open and willing to accept it. If someone has darkness working through them, they're going to reject that light. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to make it as concise as possible without getting too much in the weeds, right? When it gets super boring to listen to. So there's that part. Basically, what is happening is they're saying right now, we're in the rubble. They're saying to us that we are in the rubble. And that has been a destruction that's been happening for a few years now. Kind of bringing ourselves out. Now, some people who were prepared for this have been able to stand up and dust themselves off. If you are someone who feels like you have been collapsed under the weight of everything that's going on in the world, it does not mean that you're bad. Okay, I'm not trying to make it sound like that at all. And I'm very sorry if I made you feel like that. That's not my intention. This is more about I'm still open to influences that are not good for me, or I've missed the exit to heal. All right, healing road this way, and that's okay. You know, you can always loop back around. You know me with a metaphor, I could beat it into the ground. Okay, so there is that part. So use this video, check in with yourself. Leave a comment if you want to. Start a discussion. If you're going to be able to talk about this kind of stuff anywhere, it would be here. Okay? So see what you can do about that. If you feel that you're not in a good place, and shoot, we got to back up. If you're sitting there going, yeah, I'm not bothered by this. I totally knew this was going to happen. But you're coming from a dissociative place or a numb place, or I don't know, you're just numb. Please seek out proper help. That's something different. Or you're just like a psychopath or a sociopath and you just don't care. Well, that's not what we're talking about, okay? We're talking about people who still are empathetic and compassionate, and yet they're not shocked. Yes? All right, so there's that part. Now, if you're going, Michelle, you're scaring me. Like, I'm totally affected by this. What can I do? So let's talk about a few archangels. And someone very kindly reminded me, and thank you, you know who you are, that not everybody has seen these videos before. Not everybody has been here since 2013 watching my videos. And so when I mention an archangel, I realize that I've just been assuming that everybody's heard this before and they know which archangel helps with what. So for all the new viewers, thank you so much for being here. Welcome. You're in a safe space here. We do tell things like they are, right? Not big on sugarcoating. I don't think that helps anybody. So I will, as we go through the archangels, I'll remind you of what they help with. So for right now, Archangel Raphael. Let's talk about Raphael. Raphael is about the heart center. He is about helping us with that compassion. He works very closely with Mother Mary. And it doesn't matter what religion you are, everyone is welcome to work with the angels and archangels if you want to, and if you have good intentions. And if you don't have good intentions, you'll be stopped. And with all the ascended masters, that would include Mother Mary. So this idea of almost like a divine feminine love energy, that's very Mother Mary. It's Kuan Yin, right? Working with that. Breathing into that heart space, opening that heart chakra, letting it be cleared out. This is a big step one. Raphael then helps the memories rise to the surface that need to be, shall we say, contended with. Is that a word, contended? Helps us to process so that we can start releasing. So, for example, if you've been afraid to go very deep in your spirituality because it can be dangerous, and we'll talk about that here in a second. If you've been afraid, Raphael helps you see where you weren't protected. And then along with Archangel Michael, any of the archangels can protect you, of course. But we would often bring in Archangel Michael, who is known as helping us with truth and clarity and courage, and helping us redefine who we are and even speak truth, along with Gabriel. Gabriel's about communication. Gabriel's about giving birth to a new chapter of your life, so on and so forth. Okay, so starting with Raphael, doing a heart healing meditation, and if you can imagine, allowing that energy to flow out, whether you see it as sort of radiating out around you or going up and down your chakra system, however you want to do that. I like to see a green light enveloping me. You'll feel like you're getting a big hug. You'll feel a big presence be near you. Let whatever needs to be heard be heard. What does that mean? That means in meditation, if something is coming up to the surface, these memories or a feeling or something, even if it's uncomfortable. Now remember, these spiritual videos are not a replacement for therapy. We handle the spiritual stuff here. You got to handle the psychological stuff with psychological stuff professionals. Okay? Right? So please make sure you are giving yourself the full continuum of care. Okay? So starting there, heart opening, let's bring in Jophiel. Jophiel is known to resonate with the crown chakra and to help us see the beauty in our existence, to help us be, they're using the word captivated, to be captivated with your life and your place in this world. And I don't mean that in a narcissistic kind of way. I mean, like, look how beautiful this world is. Look how beautiful other human beings are. And I want to share a cute story here in a minute. We got all kinds of things to talk about here. So once you ask Jophiel to come on in and open that crown chakra, that's going to help you reconnect with divine energy and allow that to flow down around you. And of course, I said Michael for protection, Gabriel to help give birth to a new situation in your life. But you would be shocked at how much better you'll feel. And if you are somebody who's in compassion overload, remember, you're more powerful when you reserve some of that energy so that you can focus it. You wouldn't want a surgeon screaming and hollering and passing out at the sight of blood. Bro, focus. Okay, you got to get this job done, okay? So you'll see that there is this stark contrast and how people are behaving. Now, you'll have people who, for whatever reason, their upbringing, their experiences in their lives, maybe they're older, but they act like a teenager. Maybe they're big into gossiping. Maybe they want to twist your words. Let them be where they are. We can't interfere with that, okay? They have to be in their lessons. But doing this can also open up some really beautiful experiences as well. And I want to share this one really quick because it is kind of like a good heart opening kind of story. So we've been having winter weather where I live, and I went out to my car and my neighbor came up and said that he was going to help me clear the snow off my car. He comes up, he does this really quickly. First he used a broom because he was sweeping off his own steps, and he came over and used a broom to get the snow off my car. The next morning, he had a leaf blower, and he came over and just got the snow off my car with that. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then this morning, I left my house early because I knew I was going to have to clean off my car, and I came out and it was already cleaned off. So I really wanted to thank this man because he was just being so kind and so sweet. And I text my landlord because he knows him. And I'm like, hey, I want to say thank you. What are some of his favorite things? And he tells me. And so I just stopped by this pizza place that he likes, and I got a gift card. And he does like beer. So I got him a 6-pack, and I took it over to his home this evening. I don't know this man very well at all. It was just a neighbor who was helping me. And so he was a little shocked when I was knocking at his door. And when I told him, this is what this is for, he hugged me. And here's this, this man who's kind of, he looks like he's pretty rough and tumble. Like he's like a dude, he's like a dude. And he was like looking like he was going to cry. And we had this beautiful conversation. I'm walking back to my house, And his wife or girlfriend comes out onto the porch, and she's calling down the street because apparently he went in and told her what happened. And she's like, thank you so much. You know, she's like, you just made our night. We're going to get pizza. You know, it was so cute and so sweet. And it's very effective. They had a heart-opening moment. I had a heart-opening moment. And hopefully you have a little bit of a heart-opening moment listening to that story. Now, if you're just crusty-dusty watching this, you're like, oh my God, it's some blah. Well, you don't get no pizza, okay? I'm bringing you nothing. Please. We're going to get to the cards here in a little bit, but I do want to pause here and say that I can take on some live readings in the coming week. It's a little bit tighter this week. I have some other meetings going on and stuff, but if you want to get one of those live sessions. The live sessions are $130 per 30 minutes. Email me at angelsouls444@gmail.com to schedule that. Now, I do have my standard readings. Those you can just book at angelsouls444.com. Those are $95 per 30 minutes. Don't worry about it, honey. We can pack a lot into 30 minutes. It's usually my repeat clients who start getting, the hour. I had somebody book 2 hours. I think we went 2.5 hours. So whatever you want to do, well, we'll sit and chat, but don't worry about, worrying about if 30 minutes is enough, especially if you've never tried an angelic reading with me before. We can fit in quite a bit. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. Also, gumroad.com/angelsouls. I have lots of courses over there. If you hear me talking about these angels and you want to work with them, I have whole series, how to meditate with certain archangels, what they represent, how they can change things with you by guiding you. So all that's over at Gumroad. Okay. Before we move on, I feel like there was a point I was supposed to come back to. And of course, I'm a little ADHD and I forgot what it was. Leave it in the comments. If I have to make a part 2, I'll make a part 2. But I do want people to start paying attention to what's going on in the world and watch especially how, we start to make a little progress. I'm talking about deep progress. People are standing up for themselves and somebody else says, who do you think you are for standing up for yourself? Especially if it's someone who's being kind of trampled on themselves and you're looking out for them and they can't appreciate that. That's weird. I'm putting judgment on it. Yes, I am. All right. Let's get some of the energy of this week and other messages coming through here. Oh, I know what I was going to come back to. How spiritual awakening can be a little dangerous. How can it be dangerous? Oh, how much time you got? Well, first of all, intention. If you go into something just to have like a quick fix in your life, it'll probably backfire on you. Or you're doing it just for the amusement or to feel powerful, to get revenge, to manifest that one person. This is probably the most controversial thing that I've said in my videos, and people hate me for it. When I say don't manifest that, well, yes, you can. And blah, you ain't going to tell me nothing, okay? Like, I've been at this a long time too. And that's just professionally. I was the kid who sees dead people, okay? You can't tell me nothing. All right, I know too. Okay, fine. But but when you're doing that, you are pulling on another person's free will. You can manifest a love experience. You could put it out there to say, well, I feel connected to this person. Help me understand what that connection is. Nice little catch-all is to say, okay, I'm going to manifest, let's keep with love. By the way, we can start getting into those love readings, okay? Because Valentine's Day is coming up. Sure, we could do that. But if you're going to be putting it out there like I want to manifest love, and you're thinking of a specific person, it's a good catch-all to say, without interfering with anyone's free will, and only if it's in the highest good of everyone involved. Show me how good this connection can be. And if the connection doesn't happen, sit down. It's not for you. You're either being protected or you didn't have good intentions. You're being selfish. Yeah, people don't like hearing that. We all have moments. We all have moments. But that would be an example of something kind of dangerous, right? Or people who, again, I can't really have this discussion without talking about the dark arts. Again, it's just a power thing. It's feeding. It's gross. It's a whole thing. So we don't need that. More often than not, when someone is starting a spiritual journey and they're going too quickly, they're not really trained to like energetically know the difference between something that is of the light and something that's of the dark, because the dark can pose as the light, or the dark can be very seductive and tell you what you want to hear. So what happens? Let's say somebody starts meditating and they're not protecting themselves, and they're really hungry for just an experience, something that's like an adventure, something that gives them tingles or whatever. That's like tearing down a whole wall of your house and saying, go ahead, devil. I just need to be entertained. Don't do that. Do not do that. Slow and steady is a good, I think, effective way to do it. If your pineal gland does pop open or flash open, okay, that's in the third eye. Metatron, for y'all out there, Metatron helps with that. If you're doing it slowly and in a high frequency state, or you're getting into that high frequency, then you can open that safely. Part of opening up the third eye, opening up your intuition, you have to also know how to protect it. So you don't want to just flash it open just to see and be nosy and be like, what have I been missing this entire time, right? You have to be, again, there's that intention. I want to be the best version of myself. I want to embody this lifetime as best as I can. Maybe it is I want to be of service in the way that makes the most sense and is in the highest good of everyone involved. That's where your angels can be present. When you get into desperation, when you get into control or revenge or competition or jealousy, that's just flashing everything open and anything can come in. And yeah, there are things like possession. Yeah. I mean, I don't like talking about that stuff. But anyway, yeah, it could happen. Sure. But more than anything, you're going to get either an attachment, which is, I'm just describing this as I've taken it through. Lots of other people have their perspective on this and how they've received the information. But the way I've taken it in is like a big globby barnacle of a spirit or a being just kind of hangs there. More often than not, it's because they have a fascination with us, or they're trying to anchor into this reality. They just gave me the image of the old rabbit ears on a TV. It's like they're like adjusting rabbit ears so that they get to see the show through your eyes. So that's another way. You can have an energy overlay, which is sort of a dominating energy that it's varying degrees, but it can kind of overtake you quite a bit, but it's not in you. Energy imprints, that's in you. Okay? Someone can leave an energy imprint in the space that they occupy. So this is where you would go into a house and it's just, like you can feel the previous owner, or you can, you know what I'm saying? I got very fortunate with the house that I just moved into. It was pretty clean when I came, spiritually speaking, energetically speaking, it was pretty clean. It's an old house. So, but it just feels like everyone's content where they are. No one's trying to cross streams like Ghostbusters. Okay, everyone's good. Okay, but sometimes, like if you, if you go into a city, Colorado Springs. I'm sorry, y'all, but y'all got that spooky energy. You certainly do. Oh, so many things. But anyway, you would walk into an old house there, and this is where people would say, "Oh, it's haunted. It's haunted." Could there be spirits walking around? Sure, absolutely. Yeah, as a matter of fact. But is it more you're feeling the emotions of other timelines and other people? It's dirty in there. You're feeling that. So that's like when you go into a room and someone just had a fight, you're going to be able to tell that someone just had a fight in there because it shifts the energy of the room. I just threw a lot out there. Not sure if I made all of that very clear. If not, leave your comments down below. See, I knew I was almost forgetting something. All right. Now to the cards. Half hour into it almost. It's okay. It's not just a card reading. And if you're someone, I used to get this all the time with the comments. Oh my God, the real reading starts. And they would mark whenever I started pulling the cards. Get out of here. Are you kidding me? Anybody who does readings knows that this is the easy part. Because this speaks for me. The stuff I just did for almost 26 minutes, that's the hard stuff. That's the stuff that you either know how to do it or you don't. Okay? So, don't annoy me. Just kidding. All right. First card out, 5 of Ariel. So this is not what you think, okay? Because there's a lot of different people watching this. So it's going to be a different message for each of you. Yes? All right. So this says you needn't go through your current challenges alone. Help is nearby. Negative thoughts create self-fulfilling prophecies. So in part, this is talking about what we were saying, like some people just weren't ready for this, even though we've been talking about this. And now they may feel kind of lost, scared. What do I do? Not empowered. And yet some of you that are spiritually ready, look at this with different eyes now. You chose to leave. You said, I'm not following those rules. I know that you only offer me help if I do this, this, and this, if I live in accordance to how you say. And I am not choosing that. I'd rather face the cold and go out on my own. Both come with a very lonely, perhaps even scared feeling. Because we can sit here and pretend to be all big, bad, and brave. But you know, even I'm one of the most independent people I've ever known, honestly. But I still get scared. I still get lonely. I still feel lost. You know, it just happens. So it's an interesting kind of thing. 2 different perspectives that can have a similar base understanding. Here's another, pardon me. Here's another card about leaving. Now, here's Raphael, okay? By the way, Ariel, I promised I would tell you guys about the angels. Ariel's about nature. She is really about the grounded divine feminine, okay? There's a lot of angels that help with that because we're in this timeline to help restore that. So they're here to protect us with that. She's often associated with material manifestations, the root chakra, your sense of safety. Did I say nature? Nature, groundedness. Being in touch with nature, detoxification. Did I say money? Money, okay? Money, having everything that you need in a material sense, yes? Then we have Raphael, who again, Raphael helps with a lot of things. Healing, the heart, love, soulmates, travel. That's a weird one, I think. But helps with travel, helps open our intuition, helps the heart, brain tap into its potential, right? And yeah, just all kinds of things. So there is something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right for you, a spiritual quest. So this is going to be a time where you can't, I don't know, there's so many people walking this earth that will have everyone convinced that they've got life all figured out, they've got it right, but really they have the emotional maturity of a petulant 15-year-old. To me, this card says, you know what? I'm realizing that now. I'm realizing that, you know, you made me feel like you had life more figured out than me, that I was wrong, and that you were right. I'm walking away from this. I'm realizing is not the truth. Or I'm realizing there's so much more to discover. This is also the energy of not allowing yourself to be caged in by rules. Even, okay, my hair's falling out. Okay, anyway. To be caged in by rules. This isn't just being a rebel for rebellion's sake. This, again, isn't being immature and thinking the rules don't apply to you. This is being okay with rules that are fair and just. But when there's an injustice, you want that corrected. There's a big difference between retaliation and revenge and justice. Very different frequencies. Okay? So there's something here that you're going, you know what? I don't have to put up with this. 10 of Ariel, because we deserve more. There is very much to be grateful for. Financial success and the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life. Now, this is, again, being very contented, grounded, secure. Your material needs are met. You have nurturing connections. Yes. It's walking away from something that's been established that was actually only feeding someone else and only doing us harm, really. Peace. Here's the transformation. So the number on here is 13. Some people have an association with the number 13. We in angel numbers would make that a 4. That means your guardian angels are helping you through this process. So you want to be meditating, inviting your guardian angels in. If you're wondering about how do I tell the difference between my guardian angel or another being, I have so many videos on that here on YouTube for free, over at Gumroad for a small fee. The information's there, okay? So this is Archangel Azrael. Now, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Archangel Azrael is known as the angel of death. I think he's known as the angel of death because people like to be dramatic, okay? It is the ending of one situation so that something new can be created. So Azrael helps us transform through that. Azrael actually helps you with grief. He helps you come through very, very trying times. So if you're somebody who has chosen a lot for this timeline and in your lessons, he helps you come out the other side. Okay? Release the past. There is a more enriching future coming. Let go and let God. I'm telling you, I'm not dealing with the establishment anymore. All these things that have been really just not right, that we have been told is normal, that's going away now. So this is not a time to be weak. It's also not a time, how do I want to say this? It's also not the time to overreact. The other thing too, if you've been working on your spirituality, politics don't bother you. Because you know what it is. Now, you're not being self-righteous and going, you know what, I don't partake in those things. You're going, I'll just be over here. I'm just going to be over here. I knew this was coming. It's got to play out. I can't save the world. It's not my job to do that, okay? And that's important for you to remember. And I know there are going to be so many people that go, yes, you are as a light worker. You're supposed to blah, blah. Please run away from those people. They're selling something, okay? And really kind of playing on your ego. Playing on your ego so that you feel super important, that you have this important mission. Your mission is to embody this being that you chose to be in the storyline that you created for yourself, and to be a part of a collective. So if you're going to do that, all you have to do is play your part in the collective. You're not here to correct everything, right? Okay, we'll do one more card here. The World. And we have a 21. We would make that a 3. Again, this idea of spiritual stability, connecting with ascended masters, connecting into your higher wisdom, opening that crown chakra and making sure that you are connected to the divine. The World, Archangel Michael. We know our buddy Archangel Michael, all about protection, a very happy ending, coming full circle, spiritual growth and insight. So this is saying everything will be okay. But some of you may really need to lay low for now. Getting up, I know it seems counterintuitive. Some of you are really not going to like that I'm saying this. Now's not the time to stand up and fight. Not in the way you think. It's not going to do any good to antagonize one another, to be further divided. And I promise you, the karma is going to be harder and swifter now. So if you're gossiping about someone, or you're judging them, or you're being cruel, or you're just being immature. Oh, what is it with all the over 40 people acting like teenagers? What is that? Right? That was just a little aside. Oh, I'm judging. Oops. No, but I'm not trying to say that in a judgmental way. It's just very interesting how people are kind of regressing and like short circuiting and not really handling what's at hand. Right? But anyway, the karma will be swift. And people who are, it's just what you would imagine, people who are loving and kind, but grounded and strong, right? They're going to be content. They're going to have peace. They will have already come through their transformation. And then there's everybody else who's just getting started. And their old tricks now have consequences, quick consequences. And they're going to be whining and crying, saying they're the victims. Don't give in to them. Do not give in to them. So this has been an incredibly long video. We will end it there. Leave your comments down below. If you want to help me get past freaking 100,000 subscribers. I've been stuck at like just under 95,000 for years now. So if you want to help, I think I get a play button. I don't even know what's going on. That might be old news at this point, but thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Again, if you want to get a standard reading, angelsouls444.com. If you want to try to book a live session with me, I do have some spots open, but they are limited. Email me at angelsouls444@gmail.com. I'm sending you all so much love. Take care.